Hello and welcome to this week's episode of
Advice from your besties. This is where we take your questions and we give you some advice. I think we might give some advice today.
We give thoughts.
We give thoughts. We're
We
thought
say
leaders.
words.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Okay.
dive right in.
If you're dating someone who is extremely allergic to your dog or cat, would you get rid of them in order to move in with them?
I would get rid of the person I was dating.
Yeah. The person that you are dating can take an allergy pill.
Yeah.
Go get those allergy shots.
Mhm.
Because if you're giving away your dog or your cat, you are literally giving away your child.
You are a monster.
Mm-hmm. And your partner is a monster for having you get rid of the animal.
No, so
So, ditch him. Would you be okay if your husband donated sperm?
no, no, no.
I don't know. I guess like why are they donating sperm? To get paid?
More than likely,
But if you're not going to have any kids, like who cares?
because that child is going to grow up at 18 and come looking for his father, and now you have a child that is not yours.
But can't you sign the paperwork saying like don't ever identify me ever?
Okay, the thought of your husband having a child with someone else, doesn't that that will forever be in your mind?
I don't know. I feel like I'm detached from it. Like I wouldn't even know if it got used at all. You don't even know if it's getting used. It could sit there.
I don't even personally, I would not like that thought even entering my mind.
Yeah. I guess I wouldn't even give it a thought.
Okay.
So,
Well, good for you.
yeah.
Way to be detached.
I don't know. Also, it's like if I wanted to donate my eggs, what's wrong with that?
Nothing. It's not for me.
I mean, I wouldn't do it because I'm too old and also the hormones that you have to do. It sounds like a torturous process, but I feel like I'd be okay with that. I wouldn't even like really think like, oh, there's like a kid out there that's mine because I wouldn't really think it's mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Mhm.
You are the person that should be doing it.
Have no feelings. Be very detached. Yeah.
It always helps to not have feelings.
Here's one. I don't make a lot of money and my husband makes way more than I do. I'm not quite sure because he won't let me have access to his bank account. I'm constantly asking for money and it would be easier if he would let me have access to it, but he refuses. How can I convince him that it would be more convenient and I should have access to his bank account?
Oh, I know this one.
Well, do you want him to access your bank account? That's a question. I like having separate shit because, like, not that I'm spending my money on anything like stupid or like that I wouldn't want him to see, but it's just like that's mine and that's yours. We have a joint account. Throw money in there. We share that. I just feel like, can't you have some privacy?
Oh, you can have privacy. I can identify with this 100 billion%. And it was a losing argument. It's my money and
Yeah.
I'm giving it to you. So, and it's breadcrumbing and it's a form of control. And they probably like hook line, like they hooked you initially by saying, you don't have to work. I'll take care of you. It doesn't matter that you make less money than I do. Not to worry. But what they didn't tell you was, it's my money. I can do whatever I want.
Right.
And then they can hold it against you. I mean, this is what I heard. This is what my friend told me. So you really are at their whim. And what I would suggest is you can't convince them. Their mind's made up. If this is the way it's going, it's never going to change.
I would say create a joint account that they can put money into.
If they're willing to do that.
Yeah.
Or maybe just let them Venmo you, because that's what it.
Yeah, just like let them Venmo you or just have a different account. You don't need to see his account. Like, who cares?
Oh, he's hiding shit. There's no doubt about it. It's like, oh, we can't have, like, if they're hiding their medias, their socials.
Oh.
If they are adamantly opposed to you, like, looking at their phone.
Maybe he just buys, like, embarrassing stuff.
Oh, or he gambles, or it's porn, or he's giving money to other people. There's something going on there that you aren't comfortable with, but you have to remember at the end of the day, like, I don't really get a say in this.
Yeah.
So the sooner you can just not have any thoughts or emotions on this, I would suggest that you continue to like save and stock away some of the money that it gives you.
Oh.
Yeah, and just create like a little nest egg. So if they like one day kind of hold it against you, you're okay because you don't want them to know that how heavily reliant you are on them because it's a form of control.
Hmm.
So my friend told me.
All right. I've been dating a guy since May, and I recently found out he's still on Hinge, actively talking to 12 other girls. Okay, so since May, June, July, August, September. For context, he wanted us to be exclusive a month and a half into dating, and now we're here. I told him to be honest with me, and he wasn't. Any advice? Do I end it? He has been lying the whole time about wanting to be exclusive and then talking to other girls. So, yeah, kick him to the curb because he's a liar. And why is he trying to make you be exclusive? But he doesn't have to be exclusive.
100%.
That's not fair.
The sooner you can step away from this, because the lies will just increase incrementally. Like,
I mean, if you're lying about this 4 months into it, or even a month and a half into
right.
it, that's a control thing.
So he wants to lock you down and then still be able to do whatever he wants. And 12 people is quite a
That is
strong.
quite
And
the
the question is
roster.
like, how did you find out that he was still on Hinge? Because you obviously
Mm,
went to Hinge, looked at his profile. So you, in the back of your mind, were questioning for some reason you didn't trust it.
yep.
You didn't take his word at face value. So there's no trust there, despite what you think. And are you really trying to convince him to make him like your guy? Like convince him that like you should only want to be with me. His actions speak volumes. He really doesn't want to be with you.
No. And it's 4 months. That's nothing. Ditch
If
him.
you stay with him, then you get what you deserve.
Yeah. Cut the cord. Okay. Here's one. My boyfriend and I have been dating for about a year and a half, and we've had a lot of ups and downs. Long story short, I had a really bad day yesterday. I have like family issues, etc. And I came home and I was too tired to have sex. And we've already had sex like 3 times this week. And when I said no to having sex, he kept on persisting and he got really mad and he kind of like pouted about it.
Mm.
Is this normal? That's the question.
Well, it may be his normal.
It's probably his normal, but like,
Is it acceptable? I think is the question.
yeah, no, because you're already having sex a few times this week. I think he'll live without one more. And if he can't understand that for us ladies, we have to emotionally be checked in, not stressed out after like family issues, having a hard day at work, being physically exhausted, mentally exhausted. That's like the last thing I want to do.
It sounds like his sexual needs trump your emotional needs. And it doesn't matter if you're having sex 3 times a week or you haven't had it at all this month.
Right.
I mean, given there's only 7 days in this month, but do you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter if you haven't had like sex in like 4 weeks. His needs don't trump your emotional needs, and the fact that he was insensitive and lacked empathy is a real red flag.
Agreed.
Because like, what happens if I don't know somebody dies? Something's really wrong. He'd be like, well,
He'd be like, let me comfort you with my dick.
hey, get on your back, spread your legs.
Yeah.
We'll talk about it afterward. Come on now.
Yeah.
I know a year and a half, but is this what you're going to continue to do? Are you just going to be at his disposal? And like literally,
I question his emotional intelligence. Can he not pick up
100%.
on the fact that now is not the time?
Not pick up. Like, could you care?
Right.
Well, he wasn't even listening. So it's just maybe the only reason this has been lasting is because you've been putting out and giving him what he needs this whole time. He has shown you his true colors, or at least as it relates to this.
Yeah.
And if you should consider not staying.
I agree.
I'm sorry. A year and a half does seem like a long time. You probably lived together. You thought this was going to be your forever guy. But like, what happens when it's 20 years down the road and you're still giving sex just as an act to keep him quiet?
Right. Or what if the sex does start to taper off?
Oh, it's not going to taper off.
I mean, it could.
How so?
Because what if there's more days like this where she's coming home and she's tired and she's all stressed out and it's like no sex for a week or 2 or whatever? It starts to taper off. Like, how's the relationship going to suffer or is it going to thrive? Like, can you make it through a dry spell.
I question if you can even say no
Mm.
because he's gonna make your life so miserable that you're like, fuck it, fine, let's just fuck to shut you the fuck up.
Mm.
And you're like, really?
Yeah.
So you're just using my body as like a dump, like,
Sperm dump.
yeah.
Yeah.
I would be disappointed that you're not really my emotional partner.
Mm-hmm.
We're all about breaking it up.
I know. That's the advice for today. You get out of there. You grab your shit and go.
Just leave him. You know,
Mhm.
it's easier to be single. Hook up. Go back on Hinge and just like one and done.
Tinder, hit it and quit it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That is our advice for today. I think that was great.
If I don't say so myself.
So make sure that you are following us subscribed on YouTube at So Fired Pod, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at So Fired Pod. And there's a bonus advice episode every week on YouTube. So go over there and subscribe. Bye.
Disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. The stories and statements expressed herein are experiences and opinions. They may not represent the views of the production studio or the hosts. If you disagree with our content, that's okay. No podcast is perfect for everyone.